Hey, welcome to Unleash Your Tennis. Now, with so many apps helping you to find sparring partners to play with, you have now so many opportunities to play singles match with different players. But how do you evaluate an opponent so that you can come up with a plan to beat this new opponent? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to share some tips with you to help you to evaluate your opponent and come up with a strategy to beat him or her in a singles match. Are you ready? Let's dive into the lesson right now. Before the match starts, you're bound to have warm-up time with the opponent. Let's say it's 10 minutes. Now, in this 10 minutes, it's not so much for you to warm up your own strokes, but it's an important 10 minutes for you to evaluate the opponent, alright, to assess his strengths or weaknesses in his game. So what I'm going to share with you are tips that you can use in these 10 minutes of warm-up to assess your opponent's strengths and weaknesses in his game. Tip number 1. Observe whether your opponent is left-handed or right-handed. Now, there is a difference playing a lefty, and of course there's a difference playing as a right-handed player. Now, for example, if you are a right-handed player, your backhand cross-court is going to a lefty's forehand. Alright, now, we know Rafael Nadal is famous for his forehand, right, ripping forehands to the opponent's backhand. That is his tactic. Alright, so when you play against a left-handed player, your tactics may change. So first thing to note is whether your opponent is left-handed or a right-handed player. Tip number 2, assessing their ground strokes. When you're at the baseline hitting with the opponent, I want you to hit to their forehands and backhands. Look out for the consistency. Are they able to put the ball back towards you consistently? Do they favor any particular side? For example, if I hit to the backhand, they like to run around it and use a forehand instead. It may tell me that they like to use forehands and trying to avoid their backhands. Also, look out for any weird technique in their ground strokes. It may tell you that a certain tight situation, this technique may fail. Alright, so when you're hitting ground strokes with the opponent, check out for these things. It will tell you a lot of things about their strengths and weaknesses. Tip number 3, assessing the opponent's volley. Now, this is the fun part. After you have hit the baseline rallies with your opponent, he or she may come up to the net to practice their volleys. Now, I want you to observe a few things. Number 1, do they cut short the practice time for the volleys? If they do, it may tell me that they may not come up to the net in a match many times. They may like to camp at the baseline and play ground strokes instead. If they spend a lot of the time practicing a volley, observe a few things. Number 1, check their positioning. Are they standing very close to the net? Alright, with a lot of slapping technique. Alright, or they may feel very comfortable at the net. They have a lot of touch and a lot of control, putting the ball back to you. Now, this may tell me that, okay, this player might be a solid net player. Alright, I may have a hard time hitting passing shots against this player. Alright, so check out their volley technique and their comfort level at the net. Alright, it may tell you a lot of things about this person's preference. Tip number 4, check their overhead smash. Now, after the volleying practice, some players may want to practice their overheads. Alright, fine, you can feed them some lobs and let them practice their overheads. Check whether they are able to control the smash, put the smash nicely back to you, or their smashes are spraying all over the place. Could be hitting to the net or spraying out to the court. Or some players may not even want to practice overhead smash. It shows that they may not even come up to the net and not much opportunities for them to smash. In such cases, perhaps you may want to draw them to come to the net instead. Alright, so check out for the overhead smashes and This will tell you a lot of things about their playing style as well. Tip number 5, assessing the serve technique of the opponent. During the serve warm-up, I want you to observe whether the opponent is using a continental grip. Are they able to use different spins in a serve practice? Are they able to place the serve at different locations? For example, serving down the tee or serving out wide. On the other hand, if your opponent is practicing with a Eastern forehand serving technique, now this will tell you that, okay, the serve may not be that great. Alright, a lot of tapping in, alright, more of flat serve. I may want to take advantage of the returns when I return the serve towards them. Alright, so keep a lookout of their serve technique of your opponent. Alright, and you can tell you a lot of things and can help you to decide in the returning of serve when you play against them. Tip number 6, observe their return of serve. Now, depending on the situation, sometimes during the warm-up practice, the opponent may not want to practice returning your serve. If they do, I want you to check a few things. Number 1, are they able to use different technique to return my serve? For example, are they able to chip the ball back towards me? Are they able to return the serve with topspin? Alright, on the other hand, are they struggling to return my serve? Alright, or they may struggle at the backhand return and they may be better at the forehand return of serve. So if your opponent is practicing the return of serve, I want you to check these things. Now you have finished the warm-up with the opponent. You're heading back to the bench to have a sip of water before the match starts. I want you to come up with a game plan. Alright, recap the observations that you made. For example, if you find that the opponent has a weaker backhand compared to the forehand, your game plan may be hitting more towards the weaknesses of the opponent. Alright, if you observe that the opponent is not comfortable at the net, then you may want to draw him or her more to the net, alright, and make him or her uncomfortable by hitting passing shots, lobs, alright, and win easy points from that side. Alright, so come up with a quick game plan. Be flexible about it. If it doesn't work, change. Alright, but in the warm-up practice, these are the things that you can do to evaluate the opponent. Alright, I hope you find today's lesson useful and applicable to helping you to improve your tennis game. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, do give me a thumbs up and click the red button to subscribe to Unleash Your Tennis channel. That's all from me today. Until next time, happy playing!